about it? Yeah. I know the Super Bowl just started. I just wanted to chime in a little bit early because, man, I know individuals out there that, that put some phones down right on the game at times. And that's like these Epstein's files stuff. I'm trying to look on the phone to see if I can find some more. Uh, but before the show can start, hit that like button. Let's get things started. I'm not going to be up here long. I understand we up here watching the Super Duper Bowl game. And here's some of the breaking news, and we're going to get things really cracking. So first, let's look at all of these kind of different kind of Epstein files. You know, uh, let me see. We always see some new stuff. Yeah. 6 Epstein conspiracy theories exposed in files was released. That's from the channel of Law and Crime and Network. So let's check out this first.
Trade on the big game now in California with DraftKings Predictions. Make your big game prediction and try putting...
There have been a lot of theories surrounding Jeffrey Epstein over the years, and with this new massive files release, we are tackling whether or not they prove them right or whether we still need answers. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Fair use.
Now, I gotta say, as I'm covering these stories, I am constantly reminded about the danger out there. And you know what one danger is? That strangers can find and use anything about your private life. Yeah, your name, your phone number, your address, it's all out there, which is why I wanna tell all of you out there, this is a way to keep your data safe online. I gotta tell you about our sponsor, Incogni, okay? They track down all of those old posts and search sites that's exposing your information, and then they demand its removal. Look, I was shocked. Turns out databases had all...
So go over there and check out that site. Let's get deeper into what it really can.
Hey, you remember that one? I'm going to tackle those theories and see if an evaluation of the materials actually proves them right or adds support. So I want to start with the idea, this is the big one, that the Epstein files are going to name names, right? Going to spill secrets. I mean, yeah. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying that what was released would be enough evidence to actually prosecute somebody for a state or federal crime, let alone make the accusation that somebody was involved in criminal activity or knew about what Epstein and his associate Ghislaine Maxwell were up to. I can't say that. And just because someone is mentioned in the files doesn't mean that they committed a crime or knew about it. But I will tell you, you want to talk about exposing, you want to talk about secrets? My gosh, was this embarrassing? Yeah, it exposed people in a whole new way. Can we start with Peter Attia? This was a bombshell. So Attia, the anti-aging influencer, you've probably seen him a lot on social media, recently appointed contributor at CBS News. He was mentioned almost 2,000 times in the newly released files, specifically emails between him and Epstein from 2015 to 2018. And I'm not going to lie, they're bad. Attia wrote in one email to Epstein in February of 2016 that a woman's private part is, quote, low carb, and adding, still awaiting results on gluten content, though. How about this email, dated June 24, 2015, with the subject line, got a fresh shipment, where Attia seemingly writes, the biggest problem with becoming friends with you, the life you lead is so outrageous, and yet I can't tell a soul. It's kind of chilling when you think about Epstein and the fact that he was brought up on federal sex trafficking charges, accused of abusing minors for years. Now, I will be clear, Attia wrote in a long response on X, which reads in part, reading that exchange now is very embarrassing, and I will not defend it. I'm ashamed of myself for everything about this. At the time, I understood this exchange as juvenile, not a reference to anything dark or harmful. He also added that he didn't participate in any criminal activity, that he never was on his plane, never on his island, never present at any sex parties. Right now...
So that's what a lot of people is going to say. A lot of people just may not been on there. They've probably been doing via email investments and stuff like this. This guy has the Power Lab shirt on, Google that. Put something in the chat if you know anything of that. Let's get on to where I'm really rocking with this show. And we're going to get over here and then we're going to speed things truly up because I don't want to be on here for a long time. The Super Bowl is on. And then we got to get a deep dive up into this column right here. And this is where I want it to be. All right, let me see. Let's go right here. And then we're going to look at this. We're going to check out our girl. She put something up that's pretty good. So let's check out this. And let's see what things it's going to be talking about right here. Hit that like button if you didn't got this far up into the show. I'm going to leave it like this. Hit that like button. Now check out that. Now, a lot of us, they know a lot of people be saying things is red, but you can't really see if it's red. any of that nature. So hey, but all bets are always still on, no matter what. So that's one thing we do know. So let's check out this.
So check this out. Somebody sent, we don't know who it is, but somebody sent Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein an email, and at the end of the email it said, "Don't worry, the Saints will win." This was in 2010. Oh,
Check that out.
look like the Saints won the Super Bowl in 2010. This email was sent at 13:27.
Do y'all see that? At 13:27. At 13:27, we check it out. Let's check it out.
Oh, y'all ain't in the military. That's 1:27. The game ain't till 6 p.m., fellers. Jay-Z, Pusha T, Roger Goodell, send him to jail.
Well, we know no one's going to jail. Nothing's going to happen. We're not even supposed to talk about it anymore. And the mainstream media is ignoring it. Everybody's ignoring it. Well, not everybody. Us, the regular people, we're not ignoring this mess, but they are. But yeah. So, and also, if you don't know, I don't know if you know this, but Jeffrey Epstein also won the Powerball, because that is also fake. That is also fixed. Just like everything else in this fallen demonic world, as I've been telling you.
So all those people that have said that the lottery's a scam all these years ended up being right. We just found out that Jeffrey Epstein rigged the Powerball back in 2008. And he did not just win a minor prize like $1 million. He won the entire thing. He won the jackpot, $85 million. And this win was not a coincidence, because he won the jackpot shortly after he was jailed in Florida. And you'll see here he has a trust called the Zorro Trust, and that is the trust that he used to claim the jackpot. And this way he was able to stay anonymous, because you're able to claim the prize without your first or last name. However, lottery officials know the person that claimed the prize. So this means that there are lottery officials out there that are in on this Epstein scandal. So they obviously rigged the drawing or the numbers, or somehow printed him a ticket after the numbers were drawn. It makes me question the lottery today, because if they were able to do this before, they're obviously able to do it again. So who's to say that there's jackpot winners out there the past few years that aren't legit winners? There are cases like this.
Wow.
And there's been a lot of evidence about this. Okay,
one.
not just with Jeffrey Epstein, but others. But understand, he won the Powerball after he was in jail. Like right when he got locked up. So was this a payoff for him taking a fall, or taking this fake fall? This was the money that he got, the $85 million, in order to, do his little bit of time in jail. Because we already know all of these different people worked with him and were around him even after he went to prison, including Bill Gates. So they all knew about his case. They knew what he was, and they still didn't care. Because they thought no one would ever find out, or there was so much blackmail on them already, so they might as well just keep doing it. But even him going to jail, guys, I'm going to do another update. They're coming out now where they have re-examining the footage, and they can see somebody around his jail cell. Now suddenly they see that. Then they have these images, which I showed you one in my last video, of Jeffrey Epstein still being alive. Some things say it's AI, some say it's not. I'm going to show you that in my next video, but I want to get more into what is happening around the Super Bowl, and understand that everything that they do is a ritual. Okay, a lot of people don't want to think about things on a spiritual level, but the Bible has made it clear.
Now we did look at last year's Super Bowl with Kendrick Lamar. It had a whole lot of signs and signals right in there with protesting and things, and then people was like reading it. So we already know that this one is going to have a whole lot of stuff. And not only that, wait till you hear what this lady is going to say on that. The lady that's showing half her face. Wait till you see this part. Man, this is going to be a trip.
We wrestle not against flesh and blood. And even these traditions and this entertainment and everything they put in front of my face, if you think the Grammys is demonic, well, so is this. But at this point, everything is. I don't, there is nothing that they have not touched and tried to destroy and corrupt. When the Bible says that Satan is a great deceiver, I don't think we could have fathomed how much deceit there actually is.
So the Super Bowl is going to be a ritual. We know that, right? It's always, these performances are always very demonic and symbolic with all the Illuminati signs and...
Yeah. That's what a lot of people were saying online about the Kendrick Lamar thing. They had a lot of symbols and stuff, but it was real education the way it went. A whole lot of people was down to see it, and it showed, like, basically it showed a lot of what his song was about in a certain part to where, but now this year, I think the Bad Bunny is going to have some of these signs, what this chick is going to start talking about. So let's stay tuned.
Fire and horns and all of that. But this one this year is very symbolic. And these are just a few of the symbols. But the biggest one that I noticed was February 8th is the day of the Super Bowl, right? And it's going to be at Levi Stadium. February 8th is also the birthday of a very famous magician that we don't know his name, but the cult, they know him very well. His name is Eliphas Levi, I think that's how you say it. He was a 19th century occultist. So he started out going into priesthood, but he left that and he became like a dark magic magician. And he was the one to revive Kabbalah, which is black magic. He was also the one to create Baphomet, the hermaphrodite goat, and the seagull of Baphomet, which is the 5-star pentagram with the goat in the middle, the one that's the symbol of the Church of Satan. That was him. The cult interprets him as the owl of wisdom, or the superb owl. Superb owl, Super Bowl. I'm just saying, there's no coincidences when it comes to this stuff and these people, because that is what they do. It's all symbols and symbolics. And then it goes much deeper with like the Bad Bunny and numerology. And like I saw like this guy do a video on it. As much as, trust me, I'm going to a Super Bowl party. I'm not sitting here being like, I'm not going to watch it because it's going to be demonic. Like, it's just, we just need to be aware of these things because, like I said in my video yesterday, these celebrities, the only purpose that they are in this cult is to influence society. That is all. It's all, deception and misguidance, and just think about it, right? Like, if it's a ritual and they're doing what they're doing and we're participating by even just watching or just giving it our energy, we're also...
Now, talking about just giving it our energy, feeding it, they always say energy and all this. And a lot of them is into crystals and all this witchcraft, wizardry. But let's check out the part that's at the beginning of this video. Fair use, fair to the use. And let's get over here.
Who can't even understand what he's saying into being a fan of his. But then I came across like a million weird pictures of him, so I wanted to show you guys. I was going to make a video about how Bad Bunny is an industry plant, and it's very obvious when you realize that they tricked all of these people who can't even understand what he's saying into being a fan of his. But then I came across like a million weird pictures of him, so I wanted to show you guys. Apparently, Bad Bunny's whole thing is the all-seeing eye. This must have been when he was just trying to be initiated into Hollywood, because he must not have been able to afford a really good makeup artist. This is some sort of prosthetic all-seeing eye that he had attached to himself. Here is a picture of him with the all-mocking tongue out. Obviously, there's about 3 million pictures of him in a dress. Here is a picture of him covering up one of his eyes. Here's another magazine cover where he's covering up one of his eyes. Here is this. Yet another magazine cover where he's covering up one of his eyes. Look at how beautiful his nails are. Wow. Here's a recent picture of him with a funny hat on. Here is a close-up of his album artwork that featured the all-seeing eye. And here
Now, that's his artwork, stuff like this. It's like, what? Is he participating? Is he jaded in so much? Is this information that a lot of us need to know so we can be aware? Or is this just, in other words, could we be having the signals mixed? Is these business moves or signals to send out? Because we say it's demonic on one end, but on the other end, is this at a time when certain countries or elites is making business deals behind closed doors or something? We don't know. And then the imagery. Now the part that the other lady said this one is saying being seen in the dress and all this, over 1,000 dresses, that is interesting because I remember last week right at some party, somebody was black guy was wearing some pants and a kilt. So in other words, hey, and he appeared to me to be a masculine, strong-minded black man. But do he have Irish in his family? I don't know. I don't have a lot of time to talk about that. Or it's more like some people, this is their way that I believe they can arrive and walk into the industry. And then it'll be like, and then get more followers to keep this thing going. But man, when they talk about what the BET thing, the Grammys and stuff like that, that's jacked up because man, I know they know the ratings are going down. They gotta know that the ratings are going down. Even people around the world are starting to feel like, that it's not all people around the world are starting to feel like the Grammys is not all what it used to be back then. Oh, so man. Let's listen to the rest of what this female is talking about, and I'm gonna call it a wrap.
here is another album cover where we see the all-seeing eye.
Guys, I want to take you down a rabbit hole because there are some crazy things going on and a connection of the Super Bowl directly to Jeffrey Epstein. You are not going to believe what I'm about to show you.
So, and that was the one where I showed y'all this. She's talking about what I showed y'all at the beginning. So, feel free to go over there and check out Melanie's show. This is how it looks. And her show. And then, her. And after you watch her show, it'll be other individuals that will come at the end of the vision of most when you do certain videos, like the way they did the one with the White House, some clip that's close to it or similar to it would be in there. So this is what she'll be talking about later. Photos that he probably still alive, I don't know. This one, Biden was replaced, stuff like this. So, this is basically what a lot of content creation could do. And it's really keeping up with what we're hearing out there in these YouTube and mainstream media streets. So feel free to come over here and check some of these things out. What else did I put off into the feed? Let's just see how the other stuff and information out there look. If you was to put, type in some Epstein stuff. And then I'll go at it. I think I had one more I wanted to look at. Tucker Carlson responded to the Epstein files. Pizzagate and this. So he might give you some good information on it. So go over here and check out this one too. Ready? Check this out. Tucker Carlson right there.
So if you're one of those people who's been wondering when we're going to find out more about the Jeffrey Epstein story, who's been asking for disclosure, or at least wanting more disclosure. The dump of more than 3 million Epstein-related documents a few days ago by the U.S. government is, well, pretty amazing, but also kind of a mixed blessing. Because in that cache of material is a lot of tantalizing information. There's also a lot of stuff that's
fair use.
Maybe not true. There's some stuff that seems kind of fantastical, and it's all there together.
See, it's like the way he's putting it. See, we may have to take what they're showing us in these files on a light note. Because it's not just Epstein alone in this. That's all I'm saying.
And you could ask yourself, well, why is that? Could this be an attempt to discredit the whole story by throwing nonsense in next to clearly true information? I mean, possibly. We can't know. All we can do is assess what's on the internet right now.
So, I'm going to leave it at this, and we're going to come back later on, maybe after the Super Bowl, and review some of this. Put in the chat. Put in the chat whether or not you want to dig a little deeper in the next dive, and we're going to come back with our boy Tucker Carlson, because he may know more about what's in these files than a lot of us. So then remember that recovery is peace, and we're out. Okay.